Everybody, hope you're doing well. Well, I am sure we have all heard by now, unfortunately, about Tina Campbell of the group Mary Mary. I'm old school, still got the CD. Okay, and it's on my playlist. Um, Very sad. As you see on the screen, it says gospel star Tina Campbell. Her husband files for divorce. I remember watching that show, and it was wow. This shows you the appreciation that they have for you when you forgive over and over and over again. On the show, the man is like cheated, I think, like umpteen times. Okay, remember this scene? And then I remember I think they were trying to meet for rehearsal, she and Erica. And at this point, Erica, the sister, who told her, hey, I've been, she's pretty much experienced the same thing in her marriage. Maybe not as many times, but she alluded to the fact that her husband too has, strayed from the marriage. So with this guy, remember he was working for a band on a show, a television show, and I think that ended. But it was like, you know how politicians, they'll screw up and do something really, really bad. And it's called like, oh, they're on the apology tour. He was like on the cheating tour. I remember the scene where, Erica, the sister, shows up. Hey, where you been? What's going on? She didn't show up. And it's like, you're supposed to have rehearsal. And it was like, she said, there are more offenses. So just when you thought you got down to the bottom of the cheating, he had some more cheating revelations that were coming. And so it made her upset. Go to this point. Remember this scene on the show?
I destroyed 3 cars. I cut up and crashed up and tried to stab and plotted murders and all kind of crazy stuff because I was angry.
Since then, I found out about more. And I don't want to hold on to somebody who I cannot trust.
But you did.
You see, I have been trying since the very beginning. The situation gets a little worse, and then I try to forgive, and it gets a little worse, and I try to forgive. You gonna keep adding people? You gonna keep adding people? You gonna keep adding people? I thought we had a good life just like everybody else watching. I was 190% committed to that man. And this is what you did every time I was gone? You stole my life away from me. I'm angry. Why you putting me through all of this? Break my heart once. You gonna break my heart every month?
And every time you look up, it was like, wow, it's like, how many times? And see, at that point, she, you give, you give, you give, and you give, and you're hoping to get. She stayed. And of course, that's her option. That's her right. But she stayed, and now he's the one that filed for divorce. Throughout all the infidelity, the embarrassment, the hurt, and the pain, she stayed, only for him to be the one to look up and walk away. Now, there are children, that she has children, they have children, I believe. 2, and then I think he has a child from a previous relationship or marriage. Look at the gratitude. The cheater is the one who not only hurts you, but also abandons you too. When I first heard about it, I thought, no, she must have filed, got tired of it. No. He filed. When you feel you have to sit up and use your brain cells and your time and your energy into things like, oh, I got to see about plotting some murders, which, I think just, anger talking. She wasn't going to call a hitman. But when it gets you to that point, it's not healthy for you. And see, I think some women think, oh, it's a surprise I held on for that long. But what did you get in the end? The report is also stating that a report states that basically that they don't have shared property. So I'm like, so is the house already hers? Did he wait this long till the kids get grown so he doesn't have to pay child support? See, here's my thing about this. The fact that he filed, is telling. To me, it's very telling. Oh, yeah. See, here's the thing. The fact that she has forgiven this man for cheating on her, I don't know how many times, but it's more, trust me, it's more than you can count on one hand based on the reality show. The fact that he's been just like I have to say allegedly, a serial cheater based on the show, it speaks volumes. And then for him to turn around and do what? File for divorce. Sweetie, when he was cheating on you, The love stopped then. It meant biding time. Might be biding time. I thought about that. So when he was no longer a musician or was let go from the show for whatever reason, who was paying those bills? If you know, put in the comment section. When he was doing all that he was doing what he wanted to do. And sometimes men can, they can basically regret or they can be hating on your success. Oh, you always gone, you going over here and pop, 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 all that. He was doing what he wanted to do. He was doing what he wanted to do. Just like he filed this divorce, that's what he wanted to do. He's been checked out. He was checking out when she was on the road and he was acting up with all these women. He checked out then. Because a person is there with you physically doesn't mean that they're with you emotionally. People treat you how they see you. Then they went on, they had a podcast together about the relationship and I guess the healing process in the marriage and the forgiveness and all of that. So you might be thinking everything is going okay. Or at least I still got my man. I got my marriage on paper. But how do you feel in that marriage? So here they had an interview
about it on when we were taping the show. When we were taping the reality show called Mary. Some of y'all don't know. We went through a season of her finding out everything that I had done.
The person who it was, she used to work for me, and so that broke my heart. She was like a godmother to my children. She had access to my home to come get my kids, and I said, "Are you having an affair with her?" And he said, "No." I said, "Call her." While we're doing this, I was like, "Call her." And so he did. And he was like, "Tina wants to know," and da-da-da-da-da. And I said, "Are you sleeping with my husband?" And she hung up the phone, so I had my answer. So it broke my heart. I destroyed 3 cars. I cut up and crashed up and tried to stab and plotted murders and all kind of crazy stuff because I was angry.
See, when it's driving you to that point, that it's really making you leave your mental stability, got you emotionally unstable. It's not healthy, and he's already hurt you and may hurt a little more. I think it should have been time to go then. I really thought when that happened, I really, really thought in my heart of hearts, I thought, uh-oh, she's going to file for divorce. It's over. She's done. That didn't happen. They've been allegedly separated since 2024. So for 2 years. So he decides to up and file. And it seems sometimes women want to hang on, and that's their right within their own time. Look at Kyle Richards. Sweetie, when she was on that sofa, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and she went to drop off some towels at Mauricio's place. Mauricio all over the place, show. Skiing with the little snow bunny on the slopes. When he asked Kyle about, is she dating? Because he's clearly dating. They got the pictures and the photos, playing kissing in the airport, these chicks, what have you. But when he asked her that, then he made the statement, because you can. Guess what? You can do that. That's all you need to know. When your man tells you, and that was the episode where she, like I said, he moved into a new place. I don't know if he bought a property or something, moved into a new place. And he mentioned, she brought some towels over, what have you, and having a conversation. So when your man lets you know, not just hinting, but directly to your face, if you're dating, because you can date, when he lets you know that, it's done. You're just there on paper only. It's done. He might like the way how he can move. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to spend all this money going out, living his own life. Let's be real. He was fired from a job. Then he started what? The agency. Do you really think that the agency would be as successful as it is? The men out there, what, all over, they're out of the country in a while. Do you think the agency would be as successful as it is without Kyle Richards' name behind it? Kathy Hilton's sister. They were already in the real estate. So do you think the agency would be successful as it is without Kyle? I don't think so. And on the last show, because I do watch the show, I'm a fan. Show, she's talking about, when it's, thinking about filing, things like that. And then it came up, someone asked, I think it was Andy, on the upcoming reunion, about the agency, like, if her feelings on that, and she said, it's mine. So you can best believe if that divorce right now is peaceful, if that divorce does hit, I'm expecting some drama. She said, it's mine. So she will be getting paid. I hope that she doesn't. I hope that Tina Campbell doesn't end up paying him, because I think that she makes a whole lot more money, you think, than he does. Her net worth. And they probably have no prenup. So when a man tells you, are you dating because you can, it's done. When this man was doing this to her, disrespecting in your home, that's why women don't want to have women, because you never know. A woman will see, especially somebody that's got something, a lot of times they'll love to try to hurt the woman. Women are like that. Women like to hurt women. That's why they do what they do. They look at Coleslaw. Look like the Wendy Williams money been ran out, huh? She and Kevin. So when people are doing these things to you, the love is already gone. They might love you as a person, care for you for what various reasons, but in love with you, I'm gonna go. Well, that's gonna be a no. A heck to the no. So I was shocked. I thought it would be the other way around, but to think, out of all that she endured with this man, forgave him so many times. Out of all she endured, he's the one that turned around and filed for divorce on her. I'm just waiting to see if he asks for some type of spousal support. And aren't they in California?
And I found out about more. And I don't want to hold on to somebody who I cannot trust.
But you did. Because wasn't this around, this is over, 10 years ago. I think they said that particular episode could have been around, 2014. Then someone said 2020. No, it's not no 2020 because the show went off the air. But you did hold on to somebody that you cannot trust. And in the end, he turned around and filed for divorce. Now y'all headed to the court. Lawyers are getting ready to get paid. So this here, that's the shocker. A lot of ladies, I'm holding on. No, I'm not going to let go. What did one woman tell me? I asked her, what the deal was, and she said, I would divorce him. She said, but I'm not going to divorce him, so she can't have him. So I guess the other chick wanted to, get married. She said, no, I'm not. That's the only reason. I'm not going to divorce him, so she can't have him. Guess what happened after that? He and that chick busted up. He found a whole new one. That's what he did. So when people treat you, they treat you how they see you. This dude been checked out. All of that forgiveness, all these years of holding on, and she's probably feeling that she's been done wrong. Of course. Again, a lot of women would have left then. Let me know what you all think. Maybe she was holding on to the kids, got older. People have various reasons. That is their right. Would you have waited all this time? Would you have held on? Thinking maybe he's going to get this out of his system and come back home. Might come back home with something. You never know about these people. Anyway, sad all around. The kids by now, of course, they're grown, so there won't be any child support payments. That could also be a factor that hit my mind. Let me know what you all think. Thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share them out.